Hi guys and welcome to Gaming Watcher. My name is Rolson and in this video I'll tell you how to get the Traveler's Chosen fast and easy, as well as talk about how to best use this new sidearm with different builds. This sidearm is at first glance not that special, but when you get into the builds, which I will show you in this video, this thing might actually be one of the most powerful things released this year. Let's get into it. So to get the Traveler's Chosen exotic sidearm, you have to complete the Evacuation Quest line. It's worth noting that this is the second time in this season that the Evacuation Quest has appeared, so if you haven't done the first one, you might have to do that before you can actually start the second part of the quest that gives you the Traveler's Chosen. Anyways, you start this quest line by visiting good old Zavala in the tower. By the way, have you ever thought about how much Zavala sounds like Sebulba? You know this guy from Star Wars? I don't know, maybe it's just me. Anyways, Zavala rambles on about pyramids and send you along to fetch the vendors on the planets that are being threatened by them. First you go to Io and talk to Asher Mir, the grumpy old cyborg grandpa-like character who is the vendor for Io, and he will give you the next quest step, which is to get a taken sample, complete a lost sector and collect traces of corruption. And you can do all of these in the lost sector that is right by Asher Mir, called the Sanctum of Bones. So when you get into the lost sector, just killing the taken inside will get you these traces of corruption that you need for the quest step. You also get them from your teammates' kills if you're close enough to them, so you know you can just hang around them and cash in on their kills if you feel lazy. When you get to the boss, there will be a second boss. Killing this boss will give you the taken sample, and killing the second boss and looting the lost sector chest will give you the lost sector completion that you need. Once you have done this, the quest will update and now you have to complete the Pyramidion strike and get scan traces, which you get from killing Vex. This is pretty straightforward, just kill as many Vex as you can and complete the strike as fast as possible. After this, the quest will update once more and now you have to complete the heroic adventure Unexpected Guests. Now, if you're an idiot like me, you will look everywhere for this adventure and not be able to find it. That's because it is placed next to the Whisper heroic mission on the map. So once this heroic adventure is done, you need to go back to talk to Asher Mir, who will now give you the old Nightfall drop from Io called Silicon Neuroma. Now if you're thinking, what the fuck do I do with this old piece of shit weapon that is being sunset in a second? First of all, clean up your language, man. God damn. Second of all, this is primarily done so that you can get these weapons for your collections because the destinations are going away. I actually think that this is a really nice gesture from Bungie, showing some love for the collectors in the community. Anyways, after this is done, you now have to go to Titan to speak with Sloane. She will give you a quest to kill a Hive Knight and clear a lost sector. So this can all take place in the lost sector right by Sloane called Methane Flush. This is exactly the same thing as on Io. In the lost sector there will be a normal boss as well as a bigger boss. Make sure you kill both and loot the chest. You will then go back to Sloane to get the next quest step. In this next step you will have to collect tech from chests on Titan. There is one chest located in the Solarium and two chests in the Festering Halls. Head towards the Solarium. That is where the Savathun song strike is also taking place, so follow that same route, and then in the middle of the Solarium you will see some enemies. There is a big boss enemy that will be marked with an objective marker. When you kill this boss, the chest will spawn and you can collect the tech. It's worth noting that if you're in a fire team, every member of the team has to physically open this chest to get the tech inside. After this, continue back to the Solarium and then to the right. This will take you into the Festering Halls, where you will first encounter an ogre with an objective marker on it. Kill this ogre to spawn the chest, then venture further into the halls until you find the final ogre marked with an objective marker. Blast it and collect the loot to finish this quest step. The next quest step is gonna have you complete the Savathun song strike and collect tech fragments. So the first step is straightforward, but with the second step, keep in mind that you only get the tech fragments from killing Hive ogres, wizards or knights. If you're in a fire team and you're all doing the quest, make sure that you stick together. If one of you are lagging behind, that person will not get the tech fragments for the kills that you're getting. So make sure that you all stick together throughout the strike. Make sure to get as many of these types of kills as you can, because you can actually get all of the fragments from just one Savathûn song completion. This also means if you get to the boss and you're still lacking fragments, don't try to melt the boss right away. Drag out the fight so you get all the rounds of ogres and knights before killing the boss. When this quest step is done, you have to return to Sloan, who will now give you another old weapon for your collection, namely the duty bound auto rifle. When the quest updates, you will now have to go to Zavala in the tower, and he will give you something quite awesome actually. When you speak to Zavala, he gives you a fully masterworked, pretty awesome roll of the Mindbender's Ambition shotgun. Yes, this is the one that you're always getting shot by in the Crucible, so now you can finally shotgun rush right back in their teabagging faces. After this, you're asked to go to Mercury and talk to Brother Vance in the lighthouse. The first quest that Brother Vance gives you has you complete the A Garden World Strike and collect 15 timeline fractures that you get from killing Hydras, Minotaurs and Cyclopses. So again, just like on IO, keep in mind that your teammates will only get the fragments if they are close to you, so stick together. After this, you have to do the Tree of Probability strike and collect traces of Osiris, which you get from just killing Cabal enemies, so that is pretty easily done throughout the strike. The next step is to do the Bug in the System heroic adventure, and just like on IO, this is a new whisper looking icon on the map that you have to select in the director to start the adventure. Get this adventure done and you will now go back to Brother Vance and collect the Nightfall drop from Mercury, the DFA. So once that is done, Brother Vance will talk some weird ass nonsense as always, and then just straight up wander off into the Infinite Forest. Bye bye Vance, you freak. So next thing is to go to the final destination that is going away, which is Mars, and talk to Anna Bray. She is going to ask you to go into the Rasputin Mind Lab and get a data log, so just head to the Mind Lab, and once you're there, you will see an objective marker and a small vent that you can climb into. You will then find a monitor that you can interact with, and this will give you the data log. The quest will now update, and now you have to collect 5 Rasputin frame pieces that you get from defeating bosses in the Escalation Protocol, to go into that and get your boss melting on. The fastest way to do this is to just start the Escalation Protocol event and go through the waves as you normally would. I was lucky that when I started the event, someone else has already been going at it, so it started up at level 6, which has way more bosses, but you can't really count on that, so the best thing is to just go through the waves. If you find yourself going at it alone, then just respawn into the landing zone and see if you can't find an instance where there are some more players doing the event. So after this is complete, you have to do the heroic adventure Deathly Tremors on Mars, which is also found as a blue icon on the map like the other ones. This is probably the easiest heroic adventure of them all. You can actually just run through it and just take down the boss, which is also really easy. So this does not take longer than maybe 30 seconds to a minute, and after that you can go back to Anna Bray and collect the old Nightfall reward from her, which is a rocket launcher Braytech Osprey. After this you have to go back to Zavala in the tower to report, and now he will give you the Traveler's Chosen exotic sidearm. So now, how do you actually use this sidearm? Because at first glance, it's not really that awesome. To be honest, I was a bit disappointed when I got it and I tried it out for the first time, but then I started to actually look at the perks and think about mod combinations and exotic gear that could give this gun a boost. And once you realize what builds you can actually make with this exotic, you will be surprised at how much damage you can output with this. So I will go through a build that will work for all classes. Of course, for the different classes you can combine this with different subclasses and exotic armor pieces to make it even better, but the foundation of this build works for all classes. So at a base level, the Traveler's Chosen works like this. Whenever you get a kill with the gun, you get stacks of what is called Gathering Light. This stacks up till 10. The more stacks you have, the more the reload speed, handling and target acquisition is improved. If you then hold down the reload button, you can consume all of the stacks and get your abilities back. The more stacks you have, the more you will get towards getting your abilities back. If you have 10 stacks, you will fully recharge your abilities. So this build is utilizing the basic functions of the gun and 3 mods basically. This is the Swift Charge mod, the Stacks on Stacks mod, and the Surprise Attack mod. So what this does is this. The Swift Charge mod makes you charge with light when rapidly defeating enemies with pulse rifles, sidearms or submachine guns. So when you rapidly kill enemies with the Traveler's Chosen, you will become charged with light. Then the stacks on stacks mod will make sure that you get one extra stack of charged with light every stack you gain. So that's just a double up on charged with light stacks. Then the final key mod for this build is a surprise attack mod. While charged with light, reloading or readying a sidearm will consume all stacks of charged light and convert them into stacks of a major damage buff, which are depleted as you damage combatants with the sidearm. So this means that all of the stacks of charged light that you got while rapidly killing enemies will be consumed and turned into a major damage buff for the sidearm, and it really is a major damage buff. Look at this. So if you couple that with, for example, the Oppressive Darkness Grenade mod, you have a pretty insane damage build because of the perk that lets you consume all of the stacks of gathering light that you have and reload all of your abilities. You can practically spam that grenade as much as you want. If you want to connect with me or other gaming watchers, feel free to join the Discord, there's a link in the description. If you like this video, please actually leave a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. As always, thank you so much for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next video.